Here's how I was brought up. We grew up on a farm. And as I grew up on a farm, we had orchards. Yay! We were self sufficient. And the cool part about that was every season of my youth, we did 2,000 quarts of peaches, 2,000 quarts of pears, 2,000 quarts of applesauce, tomato salsa, cherries, apricots. It doesn't matter what it was. We just kept bottling and bottling and bottling. And that was awesome. We had all the food we could possibly want. The problem is this: do you have food you cannot manage? Because at the point my parents are right now, and they're in the 70s, nearer to the 80s side, they still have all these orchards. Surprise, but the apples don't stop growing every year. And so what happens, and I'm not pointing fingers at my parents, but lots of people find themselves in this situation where once this was beneficial to them, but lifestyles have changed. And as lifestyles have changed, they no longer have the manpower to do the 2,000 quarts of pears and peaches and applesauce and grapes and berries and all that stuff every single season. They just don't have the manpower. And then what happens is stuff that they canned or bottled 10, 12 years ago, they now need the jars for that again. So now they're dumping out what was at one point good food so that they can bottle new food. And so what happens is they're now recycling the food storage without ever having eaten it. And that might be a sign of food hoarding if you have food that's coming into you that you do not know how to manage. Okay. And I don't mean that you don't know how, but that your life has changed. Having that much food may not be beneficial to you. Maybe it's time to put out a for sale sign out in the front of your apple orchard and let people come pick apples and make a day of it. And then they pay you by the bushel that they take home, right? That might be a more advantageous way to get the best use out of the apples rather than spending all this time and energy canning all this applesauce that we're just going to dump out and do it all over again just because that's what we know, right? Again, that goes back to the environmental issues of how were we raised and what is our belief about food. I love my parents for this because we still have lots of kids and grandkids, but the beauty of what they're doing now is they're giving it away as gifts to their kids and grandkids for their own food storage. And so I love that they're still willing to do that, but I'll share this with you. There's a certain age at which doing that at the level they were doing it becomes unsustainable. You just can't do that forever. It's too much time on your feet. It's too much work. The hours are too long and you don't have the manpower to do that much volume with two or three people in the house that you did when there were 20 people in the house that could help out, right? So you either have to pay somebody to come help you do that and then it becomes an expense, or you end up wasting the food, or the apples sit on the trees and then they go bad, or you bring them in and every apple you eat is what happened with us with the tomatoes. You're cutting the bad spots out of the apples, trying to hurry and eat them, and you just can't eat them in time.